there, this is Pokket with MMORPG, and I'm here with Hugh at the Natural Selection 2 booth.
Hi everyone.
Can you explain what you do?
What do I do? I guess during the day I make movies, commentate games, garden, and occasionally build things out of 2x4s.
I meant in the game.
In the game, that is exactly what I do, and I'm not even joking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is exactly what I do. Yeah.
So what is Natural Selection 2?
Natural Selection 2 is a game that tries to combine two awesome things in gaming. The first is real-time strategy, so looking down on a battlefield and directing things like a chess set, like StarCraft, like Command and Conquer. And the other is first person, so action, getting in and having combat with someone, so like Counter-Strike or Call of Duty or a game like that. So we try to mesh the two together seamlessly so they can coexist in the one game.
Now, can you tell us the background of the game?
Absolutely. It started out as a Half-Life mod. It was released back in 2002. That mod was pretty much built by one man with the help of a community he built up around him. His name was Charlie Cleveland, Flera, and he took that mod and basically decided that, hey, this is done well enough that it could actually be its own game. And so over the past 5 years, it's been in development as its own standalone game on its own engine, and now it's here at E3, and we are so pumped that it's finally getting close to release.
Now, there are two sides in the game, as you can see on here. What is the difference between the two sides?
Everything. They
Everything.
share almost nothing. It's like the Zerg and the Terran in StarCraft or something like that, or orcs and humans in World of Warcraft. They just share so little, apart from the fact they both share a central building that's very important. You know, the aliens have a hive and the Marines have a command station. But otherwise, they're just completely divergent. The aliens have 5 different classes that they can be that all act in completely different ways, and the Marines have a whole array of weapons they can use to try and put those aliens down.
And how is balance going to come into play with the difference between the two?
Balance is really, really difficult. I mean, not only are you trying to balance an asymmetrical real-time strategy game, which you are because that's really difficult, you know, balancing StarCraft is hard, but you're also trying to do it in a situation where if you have a Skulk, which is a small wall-running creature, and it comes out a Marine, you know, a Marine with a rifle, then it's not necessarily going to be one always beating the other. Sometimes the Skulk might be really good. Might be a really good player. Sometimes the Marine might be a really good player. Sometimes you could have one Marine kill 3 Skulks. That's when a commentator like me loses their mind. So balancing that kind of situation is really difficult.
Yeah. And how big are the maps going to be? How many maps are you expecting on the release of the game?
The first question, it's hard to give you a scale in like feet or meters or something, but big enough that you have to move out and control a lot of territory. If you want to win, you need to locate resource nodes, strategic choke points, and you need to control those. They can be big mine shafts, they can be tram stations that you're trying to control. As for how many maps, it actually kind of depends on our community, because we release all our map editing tools to the community, we release all our modding tools, and what that means is the community is actually creating maps, and we're creating maps. So right now, we've got 3 official maps, and we will have 6 official maps, but one of those maps was actually community made. So if someone else goes out there and makes an awesome map for NS2, it could become 7 before release, and we don't know yet.
Now let's get into the commander a little bit, because that's something that, when I was walking by the booth at PAX, I really got sort of into that. I was like, what is going on here? He's overlooking all of the players that are on his team, and so what is the commander doing?
The commander is, they're being a leader, and that is the word I would use, truly, because if you're playing a traditional real-time strategy game and you give a soldier an order, that soldier follows that order no matter what. They don't have a choice. It's a computer control player. If you give them a bad order, they're going to die. In this game, you not only have to give the order, say, attack here, you have to speak to them as a human and say, why? Why are we attacking here? I need you to go in here because the aliens have too many res towers. They have too many hives. We need to attack here. And I know you're probably going to die, but I need you to do this for the team. So it's all about leading the team, researching technology, buying new weapons, dropping new structures, for example, an armory to allow the Marines to come together and heal and rearm. Or maybe you want to research jetpacks so the Marines can fly over large aliens and attack them from above.
Now, can you explain to us the process of a match, and like the beginning and then building up and then the end, and how you end the game?
Absolutely. It's all about completely wiping out the other team. So you can actually see there, we just missed it, but there was a giant hive, and you'll actually see one in just a moment. That's a hive, large structure, it's the central alien structure. The goal of the Marines is to wipe out every hive on the map, and you're not going to be able to do that without wiping out the entire team as well. So you'll start a game, and the Marine team will have a command station, the aliens will have a hive. If you can destroy those structures, you win.
Okay.
And everyone can respawn in until the end of the match. So aliens will respawn via eggs, Marines will respawn by infantry portals. So you keep fighting until you've eliminated all the enemy structures and all their tech. Yeah.
And in here we see the different weapon choices. Like we see a flamethrower go through, and what exactly is this flamethrower doing?
You've got to have a flamethrower
Well,
at Alien
besides
vs. Marine,
burning
don't you?
aliens and
Exactly,
stuff,
besides burning aliens. Well, you touch on a really important point, and that is we don't have weapons that simply do a lot of damage. For example, the flamethrower, you don't buy a flamethrower from the armory just to do more damage. It actually also cripples aliens by reducing their energy. So a large Onos creature will try to stomp Marines to disable them. But if you set him on fire, he won't be able to stomp as much. And each weapon has that kind of, that strategic element as well. But also, of course, just burning things is really cool.
And we saw from the aliens that you could actually see from inside the mouth. Are you going to be able to see from inside the mouth of the Marines at all, or?
I don't know. I don't know if you really want to see the plaque and dentures or whatever's going on. That'd have to be an old Marine, but yeah, I don't think we'll be having that. But you can definitely see from inside most of the aliens' mouths.
Is there going to be some sort of voice system implemented into the game so that way your commander can communicate that way, or is it going to be via chat, or will they have to be in some sort of voice communicator outside of that, like Ventrilo?
There are 3 options for communications. The first is the voice chat system, which is already in. You can already talk to your team seamlessly as the commander, and you can talk to them, with your microphone. You can also chat to them, and if you wanted to issue orders via chat. But also, the interface is like most real-time strategy games in that you can click on a unit, which is actually a real person, and right-click, and that will give them the normal. Yeah, it could be a waypoint, or it could be if you click on an enemy, it could be attack this enemy or attack this enemy structure.
Awesome. Now, what is some features in the game that you really, really like?
I really, really like.
You really, really like.
I kind of like being an engineering kind of guy and building things, and there's an alien called the Gorge. And the Gorge is kind of like an engineer in Team Fortress 2. And what the Gorge can do is build these, actually grow these structures called hydras, which are like turrets, which will attack the enemy. And he can also place clogs. And if you're familiar with Minecraft, you know how cool it is to like build things. And that's exactly what the clog does. So the Gorge can build a little fortress to defend an area and put hydras on it. He can also heal his friends. So I love running behind a really good player, like someone that can kill things. I'm not very good at killing things. And heal that player while they go killing things, just like a heavy does in Team Fortress 2.
So like a support.
Exactly, like a support engineering kind of role.
Now, is there anything that you want to tell our viewers at all about the game? Beta
Absolutely.
or anything soon?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely welcome to come join us in the beta right now. It's at naturalselection2.com. The game isn't finished yet, though, so if you're into seeing a game that's not finished and you want to see how a game gets built, sure, come along. More importantly, we will be releasing the actual full game in summer, the very end of summer, August, September, and you can find out all about that at naturalselection2.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, Hillary.